Hey there, cinephiles. It's heating up as we're getting closer to summer, so let's continue to turn that dial up by reacting to some film hot takes. I got these from some of my friends, so this will be interesting to react to. And before we get into it, for those that don't know what hot takes are, they're basically just unpopular opinions that you have on something. So with that being said, let's react to some very fun film hot takes. First one up we have is Blade Runner 2049 is better than the original. I don't think this should be a hot take. If it still is for some reason, it shouldn't be. It just so clearly is better. I understand that the original one is more influential because, it inspired so many sci-fi films that came after it. But for 2049, Denis Villeneuve made such a wonderful movie in this. It has wonderful performances. It extends the lore of Blade Runner so well. And yeah, overall, it's just way better. This next one about Stack and Smoke, I don't know if that's necessarily a hot take either. I will not elaborate. Up next, we have the first Suicide Squad is better than the second. No, it's not. I'm sorry, I just don't think it is. It would be a great hot take if it were true, but just the craft alone, I think, is miles better. Let alone the characters and the story and, I don't know, just about everything else. If you enjoy it more, I'm glad for you, but it's just not quite there. Now, these next two have to do with the same movie, so I'm going to bundle them up together. First one saying, I don't care what critics say, Speed Racer is peak filmmaking, actual heart. And the other one is, Speed Racer is one of the best anime adaptations ever, which might not be a hot take anymore. Speed Racer, I rewatched the other day. Oh my goodness, it is absolutely fantastic. In fact, I think it's better than when I enjoyed it as a kid, honestly. It's genuinely a great piece of filmmaking. There are so many layers to it, and it being a kids movie alone, it's just one of the greatest kids movies of all time. So many people will see it on a surface level, and I think that's just the wrong way to look at the film because there is so much to it. From the wonderful visual storytelling to the insane climax of the entire film, that final driving sequence it's outstanding. I'm absolutely flabbergasted by how much this film is ahead of its time, and it still is to this day. And this came out in 2008. It's unfortunately just one of those films that if you don't understand it and you don't get it and you don't vibe with it, it's just not for you, which is sad because there's so much joy and just pure filmmaking within this film. And it's absolutely stellar and just one of the greatest kids movies of all time, let alone could potentially be one of the greatest films, blockbusters ever made, at least. This next one, we need better rom-coms. They don't make them like they used to. Yes. However, that will be solved with Celine Song's The Materialist coming this summer. Outside of that, it is a bit rough out here. Most of them are just straight to Netflix or straight to any streaming service, and they're just forgettable, and no one really watches them. And we do need this genre back. We've been away from it for too long, and I really do think it's time they made a major comeback because we just need joy in our lives again. There's so much wrong with this world right now, and something like this would be fantastic to see on the big screen and just have so many people really enjoy themselves again. Now we have Jar Jar Binks is a great Star Wars character. No. Again, would be a great hot take if it were true. No, I'm sorry, he's not. Sure, if you enjoyed him as a kid, wonderful, and nostalgia is, it's a dangerous thing. But no, especially not if Darth Jar Jar came true. Sorry. Now we have The Dark Knight Rises is genuinely good in spots. If you're going to do a hot take, just do a full swing. Don't hedge your bets. Don't do that in spots. But that being said, my hot take is I'm just not a fan of the Dark Knight trilogy. Christian Bale's just not a great Batman, and even Dark Knight, I think, is way overrated as a film. It's not a bad trilogy, and I don't even think this one's a bad movie either, but I'm not moved by any of it, to be honest. Except for Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, and sure, Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, but we already know that. This next one just says Son of Mask. The only way this would be a hot take is if you're saying it's good. And no, it's genuinely terrible. Especially following The Mask with Jim Carrey. This is just such a downgrade on almost every single level. Did I love it as a kid, as a toddler, or whenever it came out? Sure, yeah. I didn't have really many real thoughts. But knowing what good movies are, this is just nowhere near that. This next one says Rules of Attraction. Now, I don't know this movie, and I saw the Letterboxd curve, and it looked pretty okay, pretty positive, so I don't know exactly if you're saying this is better than it is, or if it's worse than it is. Yeah, that's all I can really say on this one. But if you do know this movie, let me know down in the comments what hot takes this would be, if it had any. Now, this next one is absolutely laughable. Midsommar is mid. This comes from a person that doesn't even think Midsommar is a horror movie. So that should tell you all alone. Anything that has to do with their thoughts on Midsommar just invalidated immediately. Also, this person thinks The Lion King is mid. So, no. Just, no. I don't even think he understands what mid means, if I'm being honest. Moving on to Marvel movies need to end. I don't think so. Do we need a break? Yes. I think it's not that we necessarily need to end them forever because there is unlimited potential in just about any comic book story. I just think we need to take the time to actually tell the right stories and to really make them as good as they can be. We were in such a saturated market that we just continued to watch things and see them come out without any true quality control. But they seem to be slowing down, and I thought Thunderbolts was actually really good, and Fantastic Four looks at the very least decent, so hopefully Doomsday it's good. I say that as they just begun filming and it comes out in less than a year, I think. But always hoping for the best, and I do think that Marvel can get its footing again. It just really needs to decide, okay, we're focusing on quality over quantity, so hopefully that can happen sooner rather than later. Now we have Mission Impossible is the best action movie franchise. Look, I am not the biggest fan of action movies, let alone action franchises. However, Mission Impossible is really, really good. There's only one stinker in the whole bunch, and this is me not having seen The Final Reckoning yet, so maybe that'll change. But as it stands, the first 7 movies, 6 of them are at the very least decent to really, really great. So if this is your favorite action franchise, hey, there's great practical stunts. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I don't even know what current action films or franchises could really stand up to it. I mean, there's the John Wick movies, but I've only seen 2 of those, so I can't really say too much about them. But let me know what other action film franchises could stand up to this. I wish I could say Fast and Furious could, but I just can't. Now we have dudes who love American Psycho and Fight Club missed the point entirely. I think this is partially true. If they love it and they don't understand that American Psycho is a parody and also that Fight Club is supposed to not have you root for the main characters, then yes. However, if a guy loves these movies and understands the true meanings of these films and understands that this isn't necessarily supposed to be something you're striving towards, also throw in Wolf of Wall Street for this, but rather these are cautionary tales of, hey, don't be these people. And if it's not their favorite movies of all time, then I think it's not necessarily as big of a red flag for the person as it could be. But if they love these movies because it's cool and angsty and grungy and they miss the entire point and don't even know that the director of American Psycho is a woman, then yeah, I'd say run away from those people as far as you can. And finally, we have Twilight is the best movie ever made. Sorry about that. Got a call right in the middle of filming. Yeah, I mean, to some people, this could be the best movie ever made. I love the blue that's on it. It's quotable. It's fun enough of a movie that if this is your favorite or if you think this is the best, then sure, why not? But all right, those are my reactions to this group of film hot takes. Be sure to let me know your hot takes down in the comments below and what you think of these hot takes in general too. As always, thank you guys for watching, liking, and subscribing. Be sure to stay tuned for more Yeti Films content, and I'll watch you later.